it is a mistake to stay up from 3 a.m. and work and come home and do chores, and then at 8 or 9 o'clock at night then decide you're going to shoot this video. Just stubborn. And I realized I really needed to delete and remake it. So here it is. And 28 years ago, I lost contact with a good friend from high school named Ralph Bednarski. We were in an arts class together, and we had certain things like comic books and horror movies and things like that in common. And over the years, I gave up on those things and he did not. So this guy, Ralph, is from being back in contact with him, I've realized, he's a total encyclopedia of horror movies, action figures, comic books, fantasy movies, just you name it. And when it comes to that realm, Twin Peaks, big time, huge. So, it's just been really fun going back because he's exactly my age pretty much. And it's easy to relate, when it comes to old school stuff. And he knows a lot about new school stuff too. So it's, keeps me up to date. But anyway, it's just been a lot of fun. And so he continuously does art constantly. And he was showing me his art, and I'm looking at these versus paintings that he does, which is like this, half and half. And I had this crazy idea, and I'll just throw ideas out there sometimes and see if they stick. And a lot of times they don't. People are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, I'm just throwing out ideas. So for Ralph, he's so open-minded. I threw out this idea and it stuck, and he took it. And it was basically I saw some art that had to do with robots and things like that, and I threw out the idea of a versus painting that had to do with Voltron 2, which is Gladiator Voltron, which is this six-armed Voltron that you see here. The most popular Voltron, obviously, is Lion Voltron. Then there's Voltron 1, which is vehicles. And the vehicle Voltron didn't take hold in the United States. So Voltron 3, the Lion Voltron, is the one that most people know. But I always liked the underdog Voltron, which is Voltron 2, Gladiator Voltron, a six-armed robot. So I said, hey, what about that? And Goro from Mortal Kombat. And, and I had this idea for their arms to look like this. If you've got 6 arms and you win a battle, why not throw them all up in the air, like in a triumphant pose? So that's just what flashed in my mind. And he comes back to me and says, Goro only has 4 arms. So, and I said, well, I don't want to mess up, the fans' idea of this guy. So, and I only know Mortal Kombat a little bit because I saw the movie in the theater, because there was 2 death metal bands that I liked that were actually on the soundtrack to a mainstream movie, and I went to go see, because back then it was way before Metalocalypse and the internet and people knowing, even what death metal is. Most people didn't. So it was just exciting to me to see a mainstream movie with Napalm Death and Fear Factory on the actual big screen. So I really only went to see the movie because of that. I didn't really care. I watched my friends play the game, but I didn't care. So I forgot that that Goro only had 4 arms. So Ralph makes this joke and says, hey, listen, it doesn't matter. It's your vision. It's our vision. This is not Goro. This is his cousin Gene that works down in the docks. And being that I was intruding on his artwork and I had been out of this scene for so long, that struck me really funny, that his sense of humor was like that, and he was actually going to go through the trouble to make this thing that didn't really exist. But it just goes to show with Ralph's open-mindedness. So here he created this random thing that was an idea that I had, and he went with it, and he did a beautiful job. So I hope it's selling well on his when they print the T-shirts from one of his site connections. You can also see all his art on Instagram. And Ralph is so generous because we had this reunion project together from after so many years. He gave me the original painting, which is also just as beautiful as the shirt, if not more so. And that was very generous of him to do that, because you know, and how nice he was. He actually put a secret little V for my last name in the clouds there, and that was just way beyond nice of Ralph to do. But it just goes to show the kind of considerate things he can do for someone's art, you know, that he did that. And I would never have asked him to do something like that. I was flattered enough that he was, you know, working on this idea that we had together, or that I had and he approved of. But it just goes to show how open-minded he is, and he can do anything, you know. So he modified Goro into a 6-armed creature, and, you know, painted Voltron 2, which I don't think he had any experience with. He had painted the other Voltrons before, but, you know, it, like I said, this is an underdog robot. You can look it up, and there's some beautiful paintings of Voltron 2 online, but he just never caught on in the U.S., you know, because they, you know, as you may know, Voltron was brought over from Japan and dubbed. I wouldn't, even though technically it's anime, I wouldn't say it's actually anime, because it's it doesn't fit the poetic motion that really typified true anime, which is the stuff that Carl Macek brought over. And if anybody doesn't know who Carl Macek is, you should look him up. He's really the godfather of anime in this U.S. And in the United States. He brought over shows like Robotech and movies like Akira, which are really, those movies had the real poetic motion that is what made anime popular in this country. But anyway, Carl Macek, he's a legend. But anyway, yeah. So, but technically, Voltron was one of the early animes brought over to this country and dubbed. But Voltron 2, Gladiator Voltron, didn't make it into the popular shows. And neither did Voltron 1, Sly and Voltron. But anyway, so it goes to show you Ralph's open-mindedness and what beautiful art he can create. And I showed you the painting, but a lot of his paintings are done with blacklight reactiveness, and this painting is also done with blacklight, but I don't have a powerful enough blacklight to show it properly. On his website, you can see he uses the proper website blacklights, and you can see how beautiful his blacklight reactive paintings are, and they really are cool. And it's cool that he goes through that extra work to do that. Now, there's going to be, in the description, I'll post a link to where you can get his t-shirts, but make sure you check out Ralph Bednarski's art on Instagram. It's really, really cool stuff, and he has a very unique style, as you can see. So even if you've seen paintings of, you know, your favorite horror movie characters or things like that, he does them in his own way, and I think it's a beautiful style. It's very unique, and obviously he's very open-minded, so he can do, you know, custom things for people. Because, you know, him and I are just talking as old friends, and I had this idea to throw out there. I expected him to go, "This is stupid," but instead he jumped on it and he did it, and made a lot of jokes out of it, and really made me laugh. And I just wanted to celebrate his and I reunion, and this beautiful shirt that he created, and the painting that he created out of our reunion. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.